file. I mean, we've got 5 impaired lakes, a couple of impaired streams. We're doing our TMDL studies on our own dime right now. We're going to be at a point in our district where we've got, anywhere from 3 to 5 active TMDL implementation programs going on. And I expect that we'll have to, or we've been thinking about submitting grants for all that implementation. The fact is that's going to drain a lot of local agencies. I mean, I've got staff, but a lot of people don't have much staff. And I'm thinking that there might be a better way, at least think about a better way, that if you have an approved TMDL, it's gone through the approval process, EPA, PCA, there should be some kind of streamlined process, I think, rather than competing as we have with cost share grants and 319 grants and whatever, that there ought to be some type of more expedited procedure. And some of these criteria that people have thrown out about the priority for the basin or the priority for river reaches or whatever, we can think about some of those factors in terms of what would enhance one area's TMDL more than another area's TMDL, and make it known to those in that area that your ranking's coming up. You don't have to submit much more than, tell us what the TMDL is, tell us where you are in the implementation process, and maybe things are cut pretty clean. And I'm just trying to think of how to cut down time. It's very onerous in some places, some cases to submit permit applications. Like LCCMR, I mean, I was talking with other people, I don't go for LCCMR grants anymore. I just won't do it. It's just too much work, too much effort, and too much pain. And I don't want to see everybody have to go through that for this month.
Thank you. Jay Richards, Washington Conservation District. It's kind of a follow-up to Cliff's comment. And I think if we do this process properly, we should set it up in a way that incentivizes collaboration between implementing entities. So we can create those synergistic relationships between watersheds, conservation, cities, counties, and the state. For example, we could enhance the state cost share program that provides additional funding for state cost share for projects that are done as part of a watershed-based prioritization. So if we have a priority within a watershed, you can get a larger amount for state cost share. Very efficient process, and it goes right through to the ground.
Hi, this is Joel Settles, Hennepin County. I just kind of want to piggyback a little bit on what Jay said too about the coordination. I think it's real important for making sure that everybody's basically on the same page and coordinating, and knowing that, like in Hennepin County, a lot of watershed management organizations, a lot of cities, a lot of impaired waters, a lot of waters that aren't impaired but need some type of attention. I do think it's important to follow up and really make sure that what's coming forward to Bowser or whoever's going to be reviewing it. I also like Randy's idea about having a panel so it's not all state agency staff on the application process. That there is that kind of coordination at the local level, because that's really where you're getting that vetting, that it is public engagement is run through these steps and these processes behind it. But I also want to say that if you really want to get public buy-in, it is important that we stay focused on basically the project base and really follow through. And I'm a little bit concerned that if, in order to avoid duplication, you're concerned that you want to just push it through existing programs and pipelines. I know some of that is fine and good, but I'm concerned that a lot of the work that needs to be done, like it might involve in lake hypolimitic aeration, or might even be chemical treatment of inflows or something. They don't fit in any of your state cost share programs. And if you've got all your specs and regs set up about how you have to build a stormwater fund, I just see we're going to get bogged down. And so, while I understand the stress on using existing programs, and I'm not saying not to, allocate a certain percentage, you really got to be out there with that program that's going to address the projects and applications that you're going to see coming out of metro areas, which are going to be different than the typical ones. And it goes back to the process. Most of the funding is going to be raised through sales tax out of the Twin Cities. And we know that's the economic engine that's going to fund this for getting the work done that needs to be done out of state. But do take attention that, basically because we don't fit, a feedlot model or a buffer strip model that works out in Meeker County, that, we have different applications, or different engineering solutions that are going to be developed for our metro associations. And we don't have a program that basically recommends that.
Someone, on that point, this is too simple, but it's sort of the idea. We need but for this new money that you, the citizens, have agreed to contribute to a future in Minnesota that has clean water and conservation, this would not have been possible. I mean, it's that kind of a message that we need to be able to identify with this work. And then, we'll figure out how to get the, whatever channels it takes, through grant procedures, and, streamlining is obviously an important part of that. Accountability is an important part of that. We've heard that. But that's the kind of thing that we have to be able to show the citizens, because they're the ones that have stepped up and deserve that kind of, I guess, quid pro quo, right? They provided the funding, here's the results.
Chris Florida, Anoka Conservation District. Following up on your but-for comment, this is also the state's opportunity to do those big projects. We can do 25 years of $25,000, $50,000 projects. But if there are the $20 million projects that needed to get done, I hope the folks at the state agency level are on top of that and they take advantage of this opportunity, because those are the ones you can't go to legislature and get money for very easily. So, I'm a little concerned that there isn't an overriding plan yet, and maybe in the first 5 years things will be kind of willy-nilly, shotgun approach to conservation, but hopefully it comes into focus 5 years from now, so the last 20 years of this is really intentional, and we'll get a statewide plan with statewide benefits that we can all be proud of.
At the city of Minneapolis. Another follow-up on the but-for comment. I've been listening to lots of talks about existing programs and existing funnels and existing plans. And earlier I heard talk about criteria established in the act that would be new and not supplanting something else. I think there should be some clarity somewhere as to what the difference is. TNDL project, does it qualify for this money because it's an old program, or does it qualify for this program because it was just discovered sometime in the upcoming 25 years? And then what Joel said, are you more trying to focus on new techniques or new ideas or new approaches and not the old approaches? So I'm a little lost yet on what is meant by existing and new in the process.
I think that was kind of a question in your comments, so I'll try and respond a little bit.
It deserved to be in the first part, but I thought I'd sneak it into this part.
Okay, no, that's fair.
That's there should be clarification instead of asking for clarification.
And like you say, yes, that's perfectly fair. I guess what we mean between them, there's some new things certainly, but there's some old things. I mean, restoring a wetland, we've done that before. We need to do a lot more of it. So that's an old thing. We just need to do a lot more of, okay? On the new side, someone mentioned it, perhaps, maybe in a metro area especially, we've got impaired waters, restoring the entire watershed back to sort of a level that would allow that water body to be what it was when the buffalo roamed isn't going to happen. So what are some new methods that we can use to deal with that issue? And so there's a combination as I see it. And on the other hand, we have to decide and delineate between what we've been